Hello and welcome back to the She Gallery Show. You are live with us tonight with artist Redor Red Santiago. Red, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And you are live with us on CAN TV. You can call us throughout the segment. Join in the conversation at 312-738-1060. And please remember that you can always reach us directly also through our website, sharinghisenergygallery.net. You can reach out to any of the previous guests that we've had. You can email us and you can always call us for more information. So tonight's guest is a very special guest. This is Red or Red Santiago, who we've been talking about throughout the last few shows because we're going to have a solo exhibition for Red this upcoming year. So we're very excited about that. I always like to talk about the story of how we met. That was like 3 years ago, right? At T-Mobile.
Yeah, she was, it was funny because, like, Dulce was, like, she literally came in for bill pay. And then, what happened?
Actually, I was just switching over because I was with AT&T. And I had went in there and somebody was helping me. And then you came in and you asked me if I was an artist. And I was like, I had just started She Gallery. Just started it. I think we were working on having the first art show, which was Paveway. And he sent me a sample of his art. I'm like, maybe for upcoming shows. And I opened up my email. He followed through. He sent me a few pictures of his sketches, just like regular doodles. And they were amazing. And I was like, what is he doing at T-Mobile? But you were in art school at the time, right?
I was in art school, and then, like, I guess I was in, like, the midst of leaving art school. I went to the Illinois Institute of Art. And then around that time, I had decided to leave.
Why is that?
So, well, what's that? So, don't get me wrong, I love education, I love school. I think it's great. But at the time, and I still feel this way, I feel like I didn't really need it anymore. And then the reason being is because the school that I went to, I felt like they were teaching you how to do things rather than to think for yourself. And that was, like, one of the things that was important to me as an artist to grow, And I just wanted to go into something else, and then I was actually considering to transfer to S.H.E, but a lot of different things had happened where I felt like maybe either God or like a higher purpose or like the universe or something was telling me not to go back. And around that time, and it's funny because in that time when I was like deciding to transfer to S.H.E, that's when I had met Dulce. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's amazing, and all of it I think has been really, really, truly amazing. He was in, I met him right before we were having the first art exhibition, and then I was able to invite him back to be a part of our last art exhibition, Solar System, that happened in December, just this past year. And again, I was completely wowed. He was like, is it okay if I bring in 3 pieces? I'm like, sure. He brings in these, like, masterpieces. I'm like, holy crap. Like, not kidding. And his family's always been very, very, very supportive. They're all artists. Today's his mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy
Shout
birthday.
outs. She's here with us tonight, too.
Yeah.
And they've completely encouraged him and been there since day one, and then they've completely encouraged you through school. But you've always done art, right? Like, since you were a child?
Yeah, since, like, my earliest memories has always been painting, drawing, anything of that nature. My mom, she's always been like a... Yeah, well, that's, like, one of the first drawings that I did when I was, like, in first grade. Yeah, but my mom, she's been my, like, number one supporter since, like, day one. So...
You've improved some, huh?
Yeah, I've improved a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, just completely amazing. Let's see if we could find some more. This is a working project for the solo exhibition that's coming up. We don't want to give you too much, but, I mean, this is just, like, amazing. Who are your inspirations, Red?
Like artists, or like, are you talking about like
As a whole, yeah.
Like as a whole? So as a whole, I mean, I have a couple artists that I look into, like Murakami, David Cho, James Jean. Those are like my favorite artists. But things that influence me, I would say like a lot of my childhood and a lot of my upbringing and my culture and things that I grew up with and things that my mom and my dad would tell me, like, you know. So a lot of my images or a lot of things I spur up is either from like some sort of memory that I've had as a kid or growing up or something. Yeah.
Don't stop dreaming. I love you.
Yeah.
I love this piece. So after Solar System, Red and I kept in touch, and then I had the opportunity to bring in Lake Effects, or She Gallery had the opportunity to be a part of Lake Effects Creative Con at the Cultural Center, where we had Access Labs with Elephant Room Gallery. We were teaching people how to write very basic art exhibition proposals so that people can learn to do it themselves and have their own art exhibitions without the red tape, without the system, you know, without all of that. You know, for people that are not able to continue school or don't have those connections, we wanted to show you how to do it too. So Kim and I from Elephant Room Gallery, we got together and we were teaching people how to write very basic art exhibition proposals, and then we are giving the opportunity to a contestant to exhibit with us at Elephant Room Gallery in January. And we do have the winner, and we're very excited to announce that. We will be announcing that shortly. But Red was one of the artists that was also at the Cultural Center live painting. So this is one of the pieces that he was live painting, and this is dedicated to his mom. He and I had talked about having this art exhibition. He said he wanted a solo show. He explained to me why. And he told me on this date that his mom told him that she couldn't dream anymore. Red, can you please talk to us a little bit more about that?
This was like...
how that made you feel?
This was literally like last year, like exactly last year, because it was my mom's birthday last year at this time.
Oh, wow.
So at that time, me and my mom, I remember we were like talking on the porch or whatever, and just it was interesting because it was definitely like I'm actually having an adult conversation with my mom, and we never have these types of conversations. And was that like my mom? She's you know, she came here from the Philippines, and so has my dad, and they've been here for over like 30 years. And you know, like we seem to be kind of stuck in the same circle of just like financial issues or whatever, you know. But and my mom, you know, she's stressed out at the time, and she's telling me like, you know, at the time she couldn't dream, and like for me that hit really heavy just because it's like my mom has been my number one supporter since I was a kid, and like she always taught me. She was the one who taught me how to dream, and so I decided. And I was going through like some sort of rough patch at the time too, so I decided to make a piece for my mom, and it started off with a sketch. So that was the drawing, and then I worked on it, and like I just finished it this year on it, but yeah, I just wanted to make a piece.
Who are these little eggs?
So it's a mama bird and her watching over her 3 eggs, and my mom has I come from a family of 5, but it's me and my siblings. So my mom's always been like there to support us no matter what we decide on doing, or you know. So that's my older sister Reza. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to find this picture of us doing this is the Lake FX event where he was you had already started this piece, but you continued to work on that on this date. That was really inspiring. That was really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. So you've been an artist since you were little. You were inspired by your family. It seems like all of you have art in your blood, and then you decided to go to art school, and then a higher being or something told you not to.
It was interesting.
And learn on your own.
Interesting. Because at first, when I had left, before even art school, I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, because there was a lot of other things going on in my life. But long story short, I was really confused on what I wanted to do, and I thought it was gonna be like nursing or radiology, something medical or whatever. And then it got to a point where I was just like, this isn't me. I don't want to do this. And randomly, like I had taken a couple courses at Wright College, and like the advisor, she asked me, she's like, "Oh, do you like to draw?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I like to draw," but I haven't drawn since I was like in high school. So she just put me in an art class, and then I got hooked, and then I started doing more art, And my mom was like, it's good to see you draw again. So I kept drawing, and then that's when I got into art school. But then when I went to the art school that I had went to, I had seen that it wasn't for me, but I knew that whatever I wanted to do in life, well, it had to be something creative. It had to be something related to art. Yeah.
So you were forced to be true to yourself, or you got to a point where you were like, I'm gonna either be true to myself or I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
be a radiologist, or I'm gonna do what I love. And luckily for you, you had the support from your family, and you continuing to push. And I'm super happy for you. Congratulations. So after Solar System, Red continued to have art exhibitions, and you went on to produce with other people as well, with other galleries. And I saw him take off. I was like, wow, that's really awesome. And we had one of our other artists that we had as part of Solar System, Sandra. Hi, Sandra, from California.
Oh, hey.
She was in Chicago visiting, and I don't know, he had like a lens, and he came by, and we were talking about him and his work. And he had so many questions about the art, and he had so many dreams, and he said, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you had a big vision. It's something that it was embedded in you. Where do these visions come from, or how are you so sure what it is that you want at such a young age? You're such an old soul.
I mean, I just knew. It's like this feeling that you have, like, in your gut, in your heart, that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and it really makes me happy when I do art. And I'm lucky, considering that my mom's okay. So the stereotype with a lot of Asians, at least here in America, you're either a nurse or you do something related to the medical field. And a lot of my cousins, or a lot of people I know that are Asian, they tend to stick to that whole stereotype of being a nurse, being something related to the medical field, or something that's like, well, what's the word, like, stable, right? So my mom, like, despite all of that, despite everything that my aunts and my uncles would say, like, oh, you should join the Navy, you should do the military, you should become a cop, you should be, do something medical or whatever, my mom always just told me, keep drawing, you gotta keep producing, you gotta expand your mind. And like I'm really blessed to have that, like, considering the stereotypes that are within our society and everything.
That's awesome. And you've also served as a great inspiration to your younger sibling,
Yeah.
Reina. Hi, Reina.
Yes, hi.
You did an art exhibition where she was involved with. You did it to support her so that she can break through and face her fears and get out there and do that as well.
Yeah.
What advice would you give other emerging artists, such as your little sister or any other little sister or little brother out there that anybody may have?
Just to honestly believe in yourself. Like belief is, like, seriously, like, the most powerful thing that you can have. Like, if you really believe in yourself and you have all the confidence in the world, like, nothing, like, literally you can't do anything. Like, you could do whatever. Anything is impossible. I mean, anything is possible,
With a lot of work.
Yeah.
With a lot of work and dedication, for sure.
Of course.
So you've been completely dedicated, and you've had a lot of support behind you for that. That's really important. Family, culture. So you faced being stereotyped. You've also faced some gentrification. You want to talk to us a little bit more about the gentrification and how that's applied to your artwork as well?
Well, I do feel like
your culture.
Yes.
Community?
So growing up, we were born in Avondale, so, like, my family, we're, like, the only Asian American family that was in the block, and aside from that, everyone in the neighborhood was, like, Latino. So a lot of the culture that me and my siblings and my mom and just my whole family, we were always around Latino culture. And even now, like, it's kind of hard for me to, like, connect with people that are Filipino, like my own race even, just because of my upbringing. I was always around Latinos, and I feel like their culture, like a lot of Mexican culture and a lot of, like, the artists from Mexico or whatever, they've influenced my art style with the colors, with the composition and everything. But as time went on, like, Kuma's Corner was built next to my house, and then these condos started getting built, and then I've noticed that and then my school has gotten nicer, like the school I went to, but I noticed that a lot of the families that I grew up with, they're not there anymore, and now it's very different, you know.
Yeah, we face that every day here in Pilsen. It's surreal.
Yeah.
And thank you for mentioning that. So one of the things that we mentioned earlier was when Red and I had talked about having a solo exhibition. He came, he had a lot of questions. He said he was very overwhelmed, and then he asked if we could work on a solo together. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So then we got together. I learned even more about him, his culture, a little bit more about his talk to us tonight. So do you want to talk to us a little bit more about Life is Good and the title, which seems to be important too?
Honestly speaking, like, back to that conversation that my mom had about dreams or whatever. So I had drawn that piece for my mom, and then honestly, I wanted to prove a point to my mom, and I was just like, look, like, dreams can happen. You just gotta apply yourself, and it's gonna happen. Like, and you just gotta believe in it, you know, and just trust the process and never lose faith in yourself. And I remembered that I had posted, like, you even asked my family, but I had posted up a Facebook status. Oh, I'm gonna have my first solo exhibition next year, and then I posted like, hey, I'm gonna do my first. And I was talking with my younger sister. I want to do my first mural, right? And none of these were legit. Like, it wasn't on paper. I haven't talked to anybody about it. And then I started kind of pushing myself into like my art and everything, and then the opportunities presented themselves. I'm now doing an art show, my first solo exhibition by the end of the year, and then I'm doing my first mural too, in actually like 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
Where is that going to be, the mural?
It's going to be by like 26 and Karlov in Little Village. So
still in the community, giving back to the roots.
So it's, I do want to give back to the community, so I'm going to do a really nice piece for them there.
Thank you.
But yeah, honestly, the whole show is just basically a dedication to my mother and my upbringing here into Chicago, and being an Asian American born in a Latino neighborhood, and how all my experiences in my life and you know, makes me an artist as a whole, you know.
And how it connects all of us, because I think we all face those issues.
Exactly.
Or at least some of us have felt them directly, or distant, or know somebody who's faced them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we often talk about throughout the show and all of the segments the importance of continuing education. And I've had conversations with people that I've grew up with, and they say, well, that's not for everybody. And I trust you, me, I know that. I was never able to complete school myself because I'm still in debt. School is impossible to pay sometimes. But it's never kept me from educating myself. So I really want to point that out. I always say the importance of school, the importance of education. That does not necessarily mean that you have to be at a facility to educate yourself or to school yourself. I've never meant that, so I'm sorry if that's come out that way from the conversations that I've had. But you can apply things yourself. You know, we have, was it Abraham Lincoln? Everybody knows Abraham Lincoln, right? And back in those days, he had to go and like steal books to educate himself. So don't ever let the system or anybody allow you to distance yourself from any sort of education. Whatever interests you, follow your gut, follow your intuition, and just learn, keep doing. If it's art, if it's photography, if it's whatever that you feel is right for you, that's going to make you happy, educate yourself. It's not always art. This is an inspirational tip for everybody. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, Red, that I feel has also come up in conversations. We'll see what you think. People say, how do you believe in yourself? So like somebody like you had your mom, right? You had somebody. So I don't know if you'd be able to relate to that. But what would you say for somebody that doesn't know how to believe in themselves?
Well, I did a lot this year, and I think which has helped me like to grow as not only as an artist but as an individual, was kind of just to focus on myself. And for me at least, what really helped me was to travel and like to see the world as it is and to find myself, and I feel more grounded than I have ever been. So I feel like if you the more that you're grounded with yourself and the more that you understand who you are as an individual, then you can really start believing in yourself and believing in what you do and believing in your capabilities and your possibilities and what you can do, you know? Yeah.
Me too. So that takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of courage to really be in touch with yourself. Many of us hide from ourselves. We look for ourselves in other people, and we have a caller. So, hi, caller, your life.
Hi there. My question is, I know, I'm sorry if you've already answered this question, but I just tuned in a bit ago. Has there been a time for your guest where he maybe had a show or something like that and didn't have people show up the way that he thought, and that may have made him think he was going to give up on art?
Okay, so that's a good question. Actually, I've done a couple shows where I didn't sell anything, but that was fine with me. Like, that was totally fine. To me, I thought that it's okay as long as I'm kind of like having my art out in the public, having people see it. That's more than enough for me. And it never really put me down or anything like that. Like, I just figured that no one didn't want to buy it at the time. It's totally cool. But yeah, I just kept pushing, and as long as it's like people are seeing it, like I was never discouraged or anything like that. Yeah.
And you should never be discouraged by people not showing up either. I think that making art is a healing process for the self. I think showing your art is like completely displaying your journal, and that takes a lot of guts. So if you've had the guts to display your journal in an easel, then thank you and keep doing it, because art is in the eye of the beholder. Just like a song, not everybody's gonna understand this one song, but somebody's gonna feel it, because we all go through different life experiences at different times.
Yeah.
You should never stop creating.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, you're good. But my thing is like, even if no one buys anything, like, as long as my art can connect to somebody or make them feel some type of way, that's all that matters, because that's what art's supposed to be. Yes, I mean, like, as an artist, because I live in this society where you do need money in order for you to like live and flourish and do whatever the heck you want. Yes, my dream is to become an artist, and I want that to be my main source of income or whatever. But at the end of the day, I love doing art, and I just want my art to connect with somebody. If my art can connect with you, and if it can make you feel some type of way, then I've done my job. And yeah, you know.
That's awesome. Thank you, Red. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you would like to add to the guest? Oh, the show's gonna be at CC's Art Garage.
Oh yeah, CC's Art Garage Gallery. It's by like Ash Archer in Halsted, right? Off
And
that
you can
Halsted Orange line.
always visit us on our website. You can go to our homepage where we have a short announcement, and then once we have more details, we'll upload them. You can find again all of our guests from our previous shows on our website as well, and link with them directly. So after tonight's segment, you can always reach out to Red directly through the website. We'll have this segment up, recorded within like 24 hours or 48 hours, just like the rest. Some other announcements that we have for the gallery is a solo exhibition art show for artist Piloto. We are very, very excited. It is going to be Can TV's first art exhibition, where She Gallery is going to be curating it here at the station. It is going to be the last show of the season, September 26th, Tuesday. So you can watch us live, or you can come join us live. It's going to be very exciting. We'll have more details about that next week. We're also having our solo art exhibition, also celebrating the Year of the Rooster, saying goodbye to the Year of the Rooster. And then we'll also be working with La Brocha Alzheimer's, the Aging Alzheimer's, more details on that. January, we'll be announcing Lake Effect's winner shortly for January show. And then She Gallery is still working on its first performance art exhibition at the National Mexican Museum. More information on that on the website. That takes place next spring, March 2018. Mark your calendars. Thank you for being with us, Red.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good night, and we'll
Cool.
see you again next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.